Yeah, that finally came on. Anyway, our semester is getting toward the end. We haven't covered much at all. Usually don't have any trouble covering 10 chapters. Now, I recorded both sets of grades yesterday, and of course, drop grade, now one of the two you can drop. You can drop one of the first of these first three. You cannot drop the exam, of course. Now, some of these folks that are not showing up, they're not writing me summaries that like they should, and emailing to me every day that they watch a live stream class. So anyway, I have seen classrooms change. I liked it probably better when I had 20 students sitting here and I had a blackboard. Okay, but things change. The web classes, the Moodle classes. I think I told you the other day, even those iPod, they had iPod classes. Go in, check out 8-track tapes. Now get CDs and take a class just watching the 8-track tapes from all these electronics to sending to different sites. So what we have now, we send to your home. Okay, and this is the latest. I don't know what would ever possibly could be the next change. Okay, students have changed. Does your all's generation have a name? Does your all's generation have a name? I guess I was the baby boomer generation. Before me, it was called the greatest generation. I got a little 12-year-old grandson. He said he was in the glass generation. I asked him what he meant by the glass generation. He said, we use too many cell phones and computers and iPads, and we're always looking at glass screens. So, what generation are you, Jonathan? Have any idea? Now, I know people in their 30s was a selfish generation. So, anyhow, we'll just call you all the Trump generation. Okay. Anyway, I need to get a textbook. I'll be back. 14 people took the second test. I think it was 16 took the first test. And out of 14, 6 of you here, that means 8's out there somewhere. Jonathan and Co probably haven't missed a day this semester. You missed a day. I'm not bragging, I was just different at the time. When I first started college, I didn't know you could drop a class. There was a couple I'd like to drop. I got a D in some kind of history class. But 4 years for BS degree. I worked part-time on MBA and summer, that's called 2-year degree. I went to Virginia Tech, got certified in marketing. I went to Radford, got certified in public school supervision. I went to Tech and took a computer class or two so I could integrate computerized accounting in Southwest accounting program. I went to UVA and got certified in education for the public schools. So that's equivalent to 7.5 or 8 years. I missed one night class because I was in the hospital with a bleeding ulcer. That's the only class I ever missed. But everybody's not that lucky, fortunate. I know things happen and so on. But anyway, I appreciate good attendance here, or if you're watching live stream now and text me, that's still attendance. And the next best thing is to watch this live stream later in the week and send me a summary. So there's plenty of ways to get attendance. The biggest fault I see with web classes, you procrastinate. You put off doing the work that's required. You got to be really a self-starter if you're going to take a web class. Have you taken a full-blown web class, Sydney?
Have I?
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you like it?
When I actually do the work, it's not that bad. But I've taken two now, and I've decided to like put everything off. Grade's not that big right now.
Are you not keeping up or what?
Yeah, I get lazy and forget about doing the assignments. And when you're in the classroom, you sit here and you say, you need this by next class. Other than it's, oh, I need to make sure I just do this online.
Right. So you admit it, you're not the only one. Some students just totally forget. Now, you know what Friday of this week is, don't you? You don't know what Friday of this week is?
Isn't it like the last day of dropping class?
Right. That's what I wanted to hear. I would hope everybody could be determined and at least get a C out of this class. But there's a couple, three that are not here today. They definitely need to drop. If they saw their 2 grades, they'd want to drop. Okay, what problems do we need to wrap up on chapter 15? We need to wrap that up and move on. So what was your assignments today? I'm thinking it was 1, 2, and 3. 1A and 2A was assigned for Tuesday. 3A was for today. And I think that's where we are. I've actually got to liking this setup. That we have now with the PowerPoint and with the notepad and with the solutions and being able to write on solutions or on OneNote. So I actually like the setup. And the only thing is that people out there viewing this morning don't see me, which they don't need to, and they don't see you, which they don't need to, what have you. But that's possible too. All I need is a flat podium instead of all this here, and I can put the camera on you or on myself. So I think they're going to revise these rooms somehow or another this summer, where all the monitors will work and maybe just one switch will cut all the monitors on. So they'll do some work on these rooms this summer, hopefully. All right. So let's look at these 3 problems. Starting on page 755. We got to get through chapter, of course, 16. Debt investment transactions. We purchased 100,000 shares of 15-year bonds at their face amount plus accrued interest of 500. Now these bonds, I told you, they sell in the face of 1,000. If you buy back your bonds at 95, you multiply by 95%. If you buy these bonds at 102, you can buy them also at a premium or buy them at a discount. So here we're just buying bonds. Interest, bonds pay interest every 6 months. Well, these bonds already have a month or 2 interest on them. So Cole, what is your first entry for?
You have investments, Welch company bonds for 100,000, interest receivable for 500, and cash for 100,500.
What in the world have I done? I did not click on to minimize this thing. Wow. I don't know what happened to it. My cursor was always over them to scroll down. It won't let me scroll down faster. Cole, are you a Virginia or West Virginia resident?
West Virginia.
Looks like it'd be cheaper if you go somewhere like New River Valley.
I've considered there too.
Huh?
I've considered going there too.
We get a lot of their students. Where they located? Princeton? Now, is there another 2-year college located in Princeton besides New River Valley?
I'm not sure about that.
But anyway, interest receivable, we bought interest. So we're going to pay out cash of $100,500. The bond investment's only $100. Now we'll get this interest back when they give us an interest check. All right. And okay, now here, we bought another investment in bonds and for 210. And also we had to buy interest of 700. So we paid out 210,700. So the first two entries are identical. Purchase bonds. Now we're going to receive semi-annual interest. What is that third entry, Jonathan?
Debit cash for 3,000, credit interest receivable 500, interest revenue
Come in.
1,500.
All right, your cash is 3,000, which is 100,000, I guess, times 3% for 6 months is 3,000. Now 500 that you had bought, and you take it off the books. So you earn the other 2,500, which is interest revenue. All right, and then we sold $40,000 of bonds at 97 plus accrued interest of 200. Monique, do you have that? Debit what? All right, you sold them at 97. So you multiply 40,000 by 97. I guess that's what it was. Yeah, plus the accrued interest. So we received 39,000, and 200 of that was interest. Investment was 40. So 40,000 and 200 minus 39,000 is 1,200 loss on the investment. Okay, this was 38,800. 97 times 40,000 is 38,800 plus 200. All right, moving on down these. Here we debit cash. Now we're receiving semi-annual interest, 4% on the $210,000 worth of bonds. That's 4,200, 700 interest we bought, and 35 is real revenue. These are repeating themselves. This is an adjusting entry on December 31st. 2 adjusting entries for interest receivable on one bond, interest receivable on the other bond, for however how many months. This would have only been 2 months, November, December. And this one probably would have also been September, October, would have been 4 months, okay. All right, here's what happened in year 2. Debit cash, interest receivable from the adjusted entry, and credit revenue. For the other bond, with debit cash, credit interest receivable for the adjusted entry and credit interest revenue. All right, that's a bond. I hope you can handle the bonds. Okay. Now let's look at some stock with problem 2. Problem 2, we purchased 7,500 shares of Caldwell Incorporated as a trade at $50 per share, and we paid a brokerage commission of $75. Sydney, do you have that entry, dear? Problem 2, entry 1.
I have cash, debit cash, and then cash, and credit interest receivable and interest revenue.
Okay, right. Okay. Is that on this problem?
Yes.
Okay. But now I want you to go to problem 2.
Oh, problem 2.
Yeah, 2A, first entry.
Okay.
We purchased stock.
You debit investments to Caldwell and then credit cash.
All right. What amount?
375,000.
All right. 7,500 shares times $50. You have to add on the brokerage fee. That's $375,075, as she said. They have investment and credit cash. Okay. Now, do we own 20% of this company or more or less? If we don't know, it's less. It will be the cost method, okay? Now, here we bought some more stock. 3,000 shares at $42 a share plus $90 brokerage fee. Then investment, credit cash. Now, we're going to sell some of this stock. We're going to sell Caldwell. We bought 7,500 shares. We're going to sell 4,500, $46 a share. Well, if we paid $50 a share, sell it for 46, you know there's a loss. And we're going to pay a brokerage commission, which we subtract. We don't get that cash if we pay it out in broker. So we got cash of $206,890. But we had $225,045. And we lost $18,155. Now, where do we get $225,45? How many shares did we sell? Okay, now let's go up here. How many shares did we buy? How many shares did we buy? Now divide 7,500 shares into 375,075. Is that $50.10 or what is it? Divide 7,500 shares into $375,075. How much is that? Don, is your calculator tore up? Helen, how much is that?
It's $50.
1 penny? Okay, $50, 1 penny. Okay, so that $75 brokerage fee added another penny onto the cost. So now take 4,500 shares and multiply it by $50 and 1 penny. Multiply it by $50 and 1 penny. Does that give you $225,045? So that 1 penny gives you $45. Okay? So that's how you get your investment. You know how much cash you're getting, and then of course the difference is your loss. A lot of people are having losses in the real stock market today. It goes up and down and up and down. It went down pretty bad in the last month. It went down over 3,000 points, about 11%. And every time the stock market goes down, these faculty here at Bluefield State have their retirement invested in the stock market. It's called TIA-CREF. So if the stock market goes down, their retirement value goes down. So, okay, So with the cost method, when we receive rev dividend, we debit cash and we credit dividend revenue. This was 3,000 shares times 50 cents is $1,500. Shares, you sold some, so you can't count that. Now, when you start evaluating these things on December the 31st, if you look at that entry, that was part of the chapter. The portfolio of trade securities was adjusted to fair value of $47 and $40 per share for Caldwell Incorporated and Holland, respectively. Well, you know how much you paid for those. So let's see how that pans out. We paid $50.01 and we paid $42.03. Well, the fair market value is only $47.40. So here's your cost. Here's your fair value. Well, you can subtract and see that we have a $15,120 difference. That is not a real loss until you sell the stock. But we put it on the books as an adjustment unrealized. All right, looking at year 2, we bought some more investment, debit investment, credit cash, $25 a share plus 100. Now, divide 125,100 by 5,000 shares. Divide 125,100 by 5,000 shares. And how much do we have invested in that stock? $25 and is that 2 cents maybe a share? Check that out. Is it $25.02? You may need that when you go to sell it. But if we receive a dividend, 52 cents a share, it's cash and credit dividend revenue. Now we are going to sell some. So 1,000 shares times 28. We got a gain because we only paid $25.02. So our investment is $25,020. We received $27,890 cash. So yeah, we had a gain of $28.70. And here's a valuation allowance again, but in this case we got a gain instead of a loss. How do all these things show up on the balance sheet? Trade investment plus valuation allowance could be a minus. Trade investments at fair value, $420,000. So it's a current asset on your balance sheet. Your losses are on the income statement, called other losses or other gains. All right, now these 3 problems tell the story of the whole chapter. Problem 1, we bought bonds. And we received interest. Or we bought bonds between days. Or we had an adjusted entry on interest. Problem 2 was the cost method of buying stock. It's just an investment. It's a current asset. We get dividend revenue. All right? You always add and subtract your brokerage fee. When you buy it, you add it. When you sell it, you subtract that out of what you get as cash. So now we're going to start problem 3, and it should be the equity method. Now, when we start problem 3, as you can see, the first entry is just a debit for investment credit cash, just like problem 1 and 2. Doesn't matter if you bought bonds, doesn't matter if you buy stock. You debit investment. And you might label Sanco Incorporated stock or bonds. You need to label what it is. All right, same old thing. This is the cost method. So we're debiting cash and crediting dividend revenue. March, 6 months later, we debit cash and credit dividends revenue. They paid 22 cents a share here. They paid 25 cents a share here. And we're going to sell some of that stock, 3,000 shares. I don't believe you had a brokerage commission. So 3,000 shares times 16 minus a commission of 75. So you had 54,000 in that stock. Somebody multiply 3,000 times $18 a share. 3,000 times $18 a share. Is that your 54? All right. And we got cash of 47,925. The difference is a loss. We have that valuation allowance available for sale. Now, it didn't matter if they were traded or available for sale. You debit the valuation allowance and you credit the unrealized gain or loss. This is a gain, of course. Credit's a gain, debit's a loss. In year two, we're going to buy stock. So let's look at year two. Purchased an influential interest in stock for $720,000 by purchasing 96,000 shares directly from the estate of the founders of this company. There were 300,000 shares of stock outstanding. You bought 96 out of 300. Divide 96 by 300. See if that's 32%. 32% is what we own in this company. That is a significant influence. We handle the journal entries just a little bit different. We're still receiving dividends from the old stock. More dividends from the old stock. But go down and look at December 31st for this new company. Received 57,000 of cash dividends. All right. They reported net income of 450,000 in year two. We received 57,600 of cash dividends. But what's the difference here? We do not debit or credit. What did we credit? What did we credit when we own less than 20%? Dividend revenue. What do we credit when we own more than 20%? We own 32. Investment. All right. Now, what is 32%? What is 32% of 450,000? That's their income. We got 32% of that. What's 32% of how much is it, Jonathan?
144,000.
All right, debit investment, 144, and credit income. You still have an unrealized gain or loss. That's a loss, of course, and credit you're available. On the balance sheet, how do these things look? Current assets available for sale and trading. Valuation allowance. All right, but under investment, another category. If we own over 20%, it goes under investments in this company stock. And voting or whatever it's called. Also on the equity section, we have retained earnings and unrealized gain of 76,000. All right, folks, that's chapter 15. Okay. All right, we went into chapter 16 the other day. All right, so we're finished with 15. We started 16 and practiced a little bit in class. So let me see if I can get my PowerPoint up here real quick. All right. All of your accounting books say there are 3 financial statements. Income statement, number 1. Capital statement or retained earnings statement, number 2. Number 3 is the balance sheet. Well, a cash flow statement is the 4th official statement in the accounting world. It's an official accounting statement. You can look at any bank's stockholders report, any company's stockholders report, and it will include a statement of cash flow. Okay? Now, I was asking you the other day, where does your money come from and where does it go? You know, how many of you work part-time? How many of you work part-time, student work or whatever? Just Sydney, you do? No? Now, that's 2 of you work part-time. How many of you play sports? They tell me where you play baseball?
Yeah.
Of course, baseball. Sydney, softball?
And basketball.
And basketball. Greg, and basketball season is over, Greg. All right. Cole, that just leaves you. That does nothing. All right. All right. I know some of you have a stressed, you have a schedule sometimes, but sometimes you don't. You can work in other activities. You can work in work. My best second, third year accounting student is Tanda Southern. You may have seen her around here. She was raising a baby. She's taken 18 credits. And she worked 40 hours. She already got a job in accounting. She moved up from being a manager at a restaurant. For a while, she worked 40 hours in accounting and still stayed on 20 hours. Now, okay, she's taken 18 hours of accounting. Most of them are accounting classes. She's working 40 hours a week, and she's a single mother. You cannot give her a test in any class, statistics, finance, accounting, that she will make under an A, because she makes an A on every test she ever takes. So, I asked her how she found the time. And she does raise her baby, you know, she didn't throw it over the hill to grandma, okay? Or what have you. She raises her own baby, nobody else does. So she manages her time is what I'm trying to say. It don't matter if you play sports and you work and you go to school, you manage your time. And in accounting principles, somewhere ago, we talked about opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is what you give up for something else. Sure, you may give up studying for accounting to play basketball or baseball, and your accounting grade may suffer. That's opportunity cost. That's the cost of playing a sport. Or if you work and your accounting grade suffers. But I don't believe any of that's the reason. I believe you procrastinate and you do other things in your life besides working and playing sports. You date, you go to movies, whatever you do. In some cases, you sleep a lot. Okay? Or you play games or what have you. Okay. So opportunity cost, some of you are not taking advantage of opportunity cost. All right, so cash flow. Now here's the 3 main sources of cash flow that we looked at the other day. We get cash from operating. You know, if we got a business like the college here, where do you think their cash comes from? What do you think, Jonathan? Where's the college cash come from? Where? Students. You pay tuition, right? But that's not enough. So So where else does it come from? State. If that's not enough, where else does it come from? Federal grants. Federal grants. Now that's their cash coming in. Now that's from operating. Students tuition college from operating. And they probably get the federal grants and the state money invested. I doubt that the college, now purchasing of fixed assets such as equipment built. We got buildings. We've got equipment in these rooms. They purchased all of us one of these little Surface Pros here. So that's their investment. Now the college, they'll never probably have a profit on selling these things. They're probably outdated when we quit using them. Cash flow from financing. All right. Now the college also gets a little money from their foundation. Cash flow from financing. The college don't sell stock. They don't sell bonds. Okay. They may have to borrow money sometime from Central College or the state to pay it back. That's the most they could do. Would be a long-term note. Where does the college money go to? They get all this money from tuition, state, and federal. Where does it go to? What do you think, Taylor? Where does the money go to?
Technology.
They buy technology. They pay professors. Big part of it goes for administrators. They get theirs first. They get their raises first. Okay? So, in your case, wherever it comes from, somebody said you work. Some of your cash comes from work. The cash comes from your parents. You may get cash on your birthday. You may get cash for Christmas. You may get scholarships. Where's your cash go? Tuition, books, gasoline. I don't think any of you smoke. I'm wondering if anybody here smokes. I'm glad you're not wasting $5 a day on a pack of cigarettes. So Carson looks like a beer drinker. You drink beer, Carson? See, I missed that. Taylor? Okay. Must be Monique then. Okay. All right. So I'm glad you're not wasting money on beer when you might need it for something else. Okay. All right, we add cash flow from operating, investing, financing, and we're going to come up with a cash flow statement. Don't worry about this. The indirect method is the one I want to spend most time with. This is the direct method. It's a little harder. We'll look at it, but it will not be on a test. You'll have the indirect method on a test. So let's go straight to your book now and look at a statement on the indirect method. Go to page 781. All right, look at that indirect method. Now, you will have this on your next test. So start planning for it, start studying for it, and I'll try to help you all I can. Okay, income from operating. Now, here is what I told you the other day. Don't know if you remember it, but let me bring up this note real quick. the other day. Now, when you look at this, look out. What's the first thing you put on this cash flow statement? Net what? What's the first thing you put on the cash flow? Net income. Okay. The second thing is depreciation. Why do we add depreciation to net income? Because we don't pay cash out for depreciation or depletion or amortization. Remember, we made those entries. We debit depreciation expense and we credit accumulated. There was no credit to cash. When we put it on the income statement, it's an expense. So we're adding it back now to net income. Now, we're going to use current assets and current liabilities. Now, an increase in a current asset is a minus. You're tying up money in your accounts receivable, or you're tying up money in your inventory. A decrease is a plus. Now, on your current liabilities, an increase is a plus. If you owe somebody money, that's cash flow you've got, but you owe it to somebody else. And a decrease would be a minus. Now, look at that statement on that page. All right, now, gain on sale of land, it goes up there as a minus because a gain is a minus, a loss is a plus. Because if you don't do that, it'll be a double counting. That gain had already been added in to net income, and that gain's already added in to investments. You've got it added twice, and you've got to take it out once. All right, now look at your changes in current operating assets and liabilities. All right, what happened to accounts receivable? What happened to accounts receivable? Increase or decrease?
Increase.
All right, what happens up here? What I say? An increase in the current asset, accounts receivable, will be a what? A minus. So that's why that's a minus. A decrease in inventory, that's a plus. A decrease in the current asset is a plus because you sold your inventory. If you're going down and look at your accounts payable, a decrease in accounts payable is a minus because you paid off some of your debt. Okay, so now I'm going to let you try looking at page 781. We're only going to do the operating part. Now, in the appendix, I want you to look at page 790 real quick. Page 790. You can look at an end of the year spreadsheet, and you can take the differences, increase in your accounts receivable and inventories, and your income and all these others. That's a spreadsheet. I don't require that. It's not necessary. Now, I told you how to check your answers also. Okay, what we're going to do, all right, let's go to exercise 5. We're going to practice exercise 5. That's cash flow, the indirect method. Only the operating part. Only the operating part. Now, the first thing, take the difference in your accounts receivable, the difference in your inventory, the difference in prepaid items, the difference in accounts payable and wages payable. Now you've got net income up there of $73,000, and you've got depreciation of $2,704. So I want you to do the first part of a statement. I'm going to try to bring that up here, hopefully. This picture on the screen up here might help you. Plug in. You don't have any amortization or losses or gains. All right, take 3 or 4 minutes. You at home, if you're live streaming, try to do this. And if you don't have a book with you, I don't know what to do about that. There's only 4 weeks left in the semester. You should have a book with you. Or we got 1 or 2 people live streaming as we speak. Okay, on exercise 5, you start out with net income. You add depreciation. Now, accounts receivable, you don't do anything with cash. Accounts receivable, the difference is you tied up 8,000 more. So that'd be a minus. Merchandise inventory, you have 4,500 left. That'd be a plus. Prepaid insurance, you have less. So that's also a plus. Accounts payable, you have more. That's a plus. And wages payable, you have less. That's a minus. So let's look. Has anybody got a final answer yet? Anybody? Jonathan, did you get a final answer yet? Anybody? Nicole, Monique? All right, here's what you should have had. You should have had 73.6 net income. depreciation 27.4. An increase in accounts receivable is a minus. A decrease in inventory is a plus. A decrease in prepaid expenses, you paid them out before, not now. That's a plus. Increase in accounts payable is a plus. You're borrowing somebody else's money. A decrease in wages payable is a minus. Your final answer was 103,850. 103,850. All right. Were you close to finishing that one? Real close. Okay. Now, here's your homework. Just exercise 7, 9, 11, 16, 17. One of them is a complete, probably, cash flow statement. I want you to look at exercise 18 for a minute. There's a bad cash flow statement. Can anybody pick out some errors, any kind of error on that cash flow statement? Under operating, do you see anything wrong there? May not know enough about it yet to know, but under operating on exercise 18, do you see anything wrong there under operating? Yeah.
Gain on sale of investments be like subtraction?
Gain should be a subtraction, yes. Now, increase in accounts receivable should be a subtraction. Increase in inventories is correct. Increase in accounts payable should be a plus. Now, we're just looking at the this part. Now, for the rest of this period, exercise 6. I'm going to leave this one on the screen up here. And when you get exercise 6 finished, lay it on the desk here and you can leave. Exercise 6. You can work it together. If you don't have a book, you better try to look at somebody's book. So, exercise 6.
I talked to Mr. Sneed, and he said it's okay to get you to make us.
You didn't say that.
Sneed.
Oh, okay.
So that's the class I'll go. Right, that's something.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna look at it. Now, Mr. Cook. Somebody done something pretty good with this, I don't know if you like Southwest or not. That's out of state tuition. I'm thinking about New River. I know they're kind of Southwest. People must be good about that for me, New River, and even Southwest. I was teaching them in Southwest, they would go state, but they would take it. They would go state to take taxes. They're just going to school, it's correct. And, I guess some of the same teachers again, I don't know. And if it's me, I'm ready to count, and me, the father. And Mr. Allen.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Sign up there. Oh, I wish you'd reconsider.
For the net income, it'll be up 108. And then for ratios, yep, increase in accounts receivable. And what do you have for your inventory? Yep. And then for accounts payable. I have 18. I have 18,000. Yes. I'd save it for later when he's like, yeah, do you have that? I think the presentation's too fine. So she got her board. I haven't done it. Yes, I went somewhere back home. I'm about to just make slides and print it. I'm missing a lot of work in there because it really sucks that she doesn't have Doodle or anything. Because I mean, she doesn't post anything.
Last semester she had, well, she actually last semester she had class. And it was all, Chris.
I don't understand. I don't know what.
No,
Thank you, Chief.